Hello, everybody. It's the Buko Boys.
This Derek DVO and Dale Van Otten coming at ya.
What's up, everybody? So it is an early episode this week because I got shit to do.
You're going to a nice, fun little place.
Finally going to Waverly Hills.
Finally.
Tomorrow I am. So it's all coming. It's finally coming together.
Nice. We're going to check out. So I think next episode we're going to talk about what Waverly Hills is because we talked about it a couple times.
Yep.
And so we'll go into more detail and you can share with us any paranormal experiences you had.
Oh, hell yeah. And we'll talk about some paranormal stuff we did over the weekend.
Yes, we had a fun, eventful weekend.
Yes, this weekend was very eventful.
Yes. So we started off our Saturday by going to the Utah Dough Show.
If you don't know what that was, if you remember one of our episodes talking about who has the best donuts in the state. And right after that episode, this guy put together a full-on donut expo where all the donut vendors in Utah battle it out for the best of.
It was
awesome. The best timing for this event to have been put together right after that episode.
I'm eating a donut now from Madbrook,
which was one of the vendors there, and they
good.
Were actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
They had a jelly donut that was really bomb. So the way this whole expo dough show was set up was all these donut vendors, and they let everyone taste test their donuts that they were battling against with everybody.
Right.
And some places were giving you like half a donut, a full donut, a quarter of a donut, a bite of a donut, and by the end of the day, we were so sick of donuts.
Yeah. But we're back at it again today.
Yeah, but that ain't going to stop us.
Now, just as a precursor, this has some build-up for about a month, which they did a great job promoting.
More than a month.
Yeah, and then when the tickets went on sale, within less than 5 minutes, tickets were sold out.
Yeah, they had the whole thing sold out in 4 minutes.
So we didn't jump on that. We missed that opportunity because we were busy.
Who would have thunk?
Which is great. So we've been in communication with the organizers, which is Brian and Heather Carr. And we've been in communication with them. And just staying in communication, especially you, Dale, you stayed in a lot of communication with Brian. And he gave us opportunity to buy tickets towards kind of last minute. And
he had some clutch. He had some in his pocket.
Yeah.
So he was holding out.
So we want to give some big ups, though, to Brian and Heather putting that together, because that takes a lot of work and guts to just organize something like that.
Something that big with that many vendors, just the two of them, that was amazing.
No, the biggest complaint was this amount of tickets and the size of venue. But understandably, this is the first one. You don't know.
Exactly. Who would have thought that it would have been that, like I said, the tickets selling out that quick? But because he did such a good job at marketing it, that both of them did such a good job at it, that it just, everyone knew, everyone wanted to go. And then even when I was posting snaps about it while we were there, people were hitting me up like, how the hell did you get in there?
Yeah, me too. On my Instagram and Facebook.
Buko Boys exclusive.
Hey, we just got, we have these exclusives, Now we're kind of munching on donut, like I said. What do most people like to eat with donuts or drink with donuts?
Milk and coffee.
Milk or coffee, but not the Buko Boys.
Nope.
We do chai tea.
But not just any chai tea.
Not just any chai tea. Tell me what's in it, brother.
We laced it with kava.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a strong batch you made, I can tell.
Oh, that's so strong.
That was your intentions, but that is a strong batch.
Because I was like, what, let's not keep refilling and refilling. Let's just do one strong ass one. Get us nice and cut.
So we might be a little giggly a little bit later on. But again, so Madbrook, a bunch of Utah vendor donuts were there. And what happened, they brought judges in from out of town. And then the people that were there got a vote. So this is one thing they did a good job of. They did it in waves. They did it in 3 waves.
Yeah, so it just wasn't all jam-packed all at once.
Yes, which is a really smart idea. So the first wave was the VIP. They got to come in first, and then they also got to witness a donut eating contest. And they also let people dress up in their favorite donut attire. And they had a mascot. They even made a mascot.
Yeah, a little donut
Which is amazing. Yeah,
and they even they let people like try to come up with names and then vote on the top names. So I ended up with Captain Sprinkles.
I like your name better option.
Titty Sprinkles. He should have been Titty Sprinkles.
You should put that in the ballot. Oh, that was funny.
Next year, maybe. They got a new mascot.
So they did a VIP wave first. Then it was an hour and a half in between the waves. So that gives you a good amount of time. We were there for almost about an hour.
Yeah,
we felt like we got a lot done there. You know, we were talking to some of the vendors. They were explaining what their donuts were.
But I did notice that there were times when it did get a little crowded when a lot of the ticket holders for that time seemed to all be there at once.
Yeah, right about the third wave.
But at the same time, it wasn't like overly crowded. It was just a little, I had to wait a little bit to get a donut that I hadn't tried yet.
Yeah.
Because, they're like, no waiting in line, just go up and grab. But some of the places near the entrance where people first walk in just stayed packed the whole time.
Yeah.
So in order to get to those, we had to wait a little bit.
Now, what some people did, I liked, but then later thinking about it, I didn't like the idea, was they would go to the vendors and say, hey, can I get okay, first of all, sorry, let me rewind. You're given one of those big boats. Like when you go get a hot dog, like those boats, but 3 times the size of that. So you get your samples on there and you try them out. What some people were doing were going to the vendors and saying, hey, give me one of your boxes, like from the dozen box, give me half of the box, like the lid. And they were putting all their donuts on there. But as we were talking, it was like, okay, now you have a full thing. You won't remember exactly where you were. So I like how we did it. We did it in 3 or 4 batches, pretty much. So we went to a few and then stopped and tried those out.
We went
to
in waves.
We did, which I think is a smarter way.
Yeah, especially when it comes to remembering because some donuts looked very different because of depending who made them. Like there was one that looked like a watermelon slice, and you're gonna remember that.
Yeah, it's true.
But when it comes to fritters, you're not gonna. All of them look identical. You're not gonna remember what fritter came from where.
Right.
So that part would be a little bit too hard. And you know what? There was that one place that ended up winning the judges. Votes.
Yes, Mirror Lake Station.
And that place won with their raspberry fritter.
Yes.
And I didn't even try their damn raspberry fritter because I was like, I don't want to fill up on fritters because I got to try all these damn donuts.
That's true.
So I was skipping a lot of the fritters because I was not trying to fill up on that. The one fritter I did try was pineapple jalapeno.
From Nighttime in Tooele.
And that shit was good.
It's good.
And it's weird because it has the jalapeno has just a little bit of a bite to it at the end after you've already swallowed it, and then you just get that little bit of a bite.
Yeah, so even if you don't like spicy, it's not a bad one. You don't really notice it.
Right, and so I didn't even try the winning donut because I didn't want to fill up on fritters. Damn it! But now to try it, guess where I gotta go? Tooele.
Yes,
and that's a half hour away.
I'm going today actually. So Friday.
Okay, well shit, I'll be back in town on Saturday.
Okay, I'll grab you one.
Okay, cool.
And then the one we voted for actually won
for the voters' choice.
Yeah, voters' choice. Yes, good, perfect. So the voters' choice, which was Donut Boy
out of West Valley. Oh, I've never been there. I've actually heard about this guy before. I've heard. I've had some friends post some pictures of donuts and say where they got it. Never tried stopping there before. But holy shit, that donut was a strawberry cream one, right?
That was one you voted on. We had a few flavors, we had the banana cream as well, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had the strawberry, which was one they were voting. So a lot of the vendors, they brought extra donuts, but they had one that they were being voted on.
Right. Some vendors had 4 or 5 donuts that you could try, all of them. Some, like Donut Boy, was just letting you try one.
Yeah.
But man, was it good.
But this Mad Brick, which we have today, they were giving you, hey, if you like our Instagram or follow us on Instagram, tag 2 people in our latest post, we'll give you a free freaking
giant
Texas size. But you know what? I'm glad we went early because I bet they didn't do it towards the end. I bet they were running out.
People, no, they were.
Oh, really?
Because there were still more waves after us.
Yeah, good job, guys. The vendors did such an amazing job. Anyway, we voted, like you said, for Donut Boy, their strawberry one, because you could taste the real strawberries.
Oh yeah, they didn't hold back on that strawberry.
It wasn't that artificial flavor.
Nope, it was real.
Yeah.
Even there was more than just the actual fruit. It seemed like they did make a glaze, but they used the real strawberries for the glaze, not the fake stuff that you put on angel food cake,
Right.
Shit was so good.
It was good. Again, I want to give shout outs to Brian and Heather Carr who organized this because that took a lot of work and guts to just say, hey, you know what? This has never been done. We're going to do it They have a love and passion for donuts. They own a company called Donuts Unplugged. You can follow them, but they also donated.
Yeah, so all the proceeds, like all the money that was made from this event, all went to these donations. They ended up donating like 5,200
5,200 each one, so over 10,000. So over 5,200 each one. Let me pull it up again. So they donated to the Utah 1033 Foundation. So that's to help with fallen heroes, right? I'm guessing. I should look more into it. Sorry, I'm not sure if it's 100% like just military or if it's also or just police and fire or combination. But still a great organization, great purpose. The other one is called the Christmas Box International, and this is for mostly kids who's gone through abuse, neglect, homelessness to kind of help with them. So both great organizations. People's Tickets help pay for those. Again, shout out to Brian and Heather for doing something like that as well. I think that was just incredible.
So yeah, that was totally awesome that they donated all that and put this whole thing together. That was so badass.
It was. And
so
again,
I'm excited to see what next year has.
It's going to evolve. It's going to get better. That's the best thing. I know people were complaining about the size of the venue and how many tickets they sold, but guess what? It was the first time. You got to learn, and it's going to evolve and get better.
Right.
That's the best thing.
I didn't even hear any complaints about that, but I didn't
hear
that.
It was just I would see the complaints. So like on their posts from Facebook and Instagram, people are like, sell more tickets. I get it. I mean, we wish we would have got in on it at the beginning. We didn't. Luckily, we stayed in communication. We also told them we're going to give them a big shout out on our podcast.
And donuts all over your arm.
I got donut pieces. Glaze. So yeah, great job to those guys and what they did and put together. It was just
So was there any donuts that you were not impressed with?
I was not impressed with? Okay. I think it was just because of this event I wasn't impressed with it. And it's not really a donut, it was a churro.
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay. So they did a churro and I like it. So what they did is they have the churro and it's a little bite size. I think it's because of the show. And then they filled it with different things. I actually got coconut filling and it was more liquidy than I was thinking personally thinking it was going to be more of like a coconut custard. But it was a coconut liquid, like a coconut flavor. So it kind of leaked through and it just made it seem very oily, yes.
Yeah, that's how it seemed to me. But I would like to try like their big size ones.
Yeah, I want to go find out. It's a food truck, I believe. I think they're a truck. And they were called San Diablo. I believe that's what it was
Something like that.
And I want to find out because I want to give it another shot. I just didn't like that one. I think because it was like a bite-sized version.
Right.
I don't think that's what they
held
make
a lot of oil.
It held a lot of oil and it made it more. I think it burned easily.
Yeah, because it was a smaller piece.
Yeah. So I think if it was a full size, it would have been much better. And I want to give them another shot for sure.
Right. I won't discredit them yet. But
no.
I do. That was actually what I was thinking too.
Okay. Funny.
But because I love churros. I love churros.
And who makes the best churro?
Oh, Disneyland, duh.
I haven't had Disney's. I really like Costco's though.
I'm not a fan of Costco's and Sam's Clubs. No, they're like, they just...
Maybe because you've had Disney. Maybe that's
Maybe. I'm spoiled, I guess.
Yeah, I need to try that. But I'm still curious, our listeners, who you think is the best donut in the Valley. Or not even the Valley, just in Utah.
So wasn't he talking about like evolving or having different dough competitors?
Yeah, Brian sent out a survey asking the people that went.
With the new cookie companies that we have in town, like Crumble and Chip cookies,
right?
Add that to it. And then I think there's more cookie places coming in, like Swig. Swig does some like the drink places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think having like a little cookie part of it would be pretty cool.
That would be very interesting. Yeah.
And then having maybe like a mix of different doughs, because there probably wouldn't be a full like cupcakes. There could be like a cupcake and churros, crepes or something. I don't know.
It would be a lot though. I mean, because
there would be a lot of desserts. I was on a sugar crash so bad.
There were 20 vendors. 3 of them were drinks: 2 coffee, 1 milk. So 17 donuts. And we actually skipped out on a couple because we had already had that many times. So we're like, I've had that many times. I'm very familiar with it. I'm going to just try other ones.
Yeah.
And I still felt this was a lot.
Well, we were starting strong too. We were like...
we started stupid. There's another pro tip. Tell them, brother. Tell them another pro tip.
Yeah, just have a bite. Just a bite per per sample.
Don't need a half.
Don't
of
be
each
a
one.
pig. And like we were getting these half-sized donuts for
On our
samples,
first wave.
and we're like, oh yeah, take a bite of it. Oh, that's nothing. I could eat the whole thing. And then here's another half donut. Oh, nothing. I could eat the whole thing. And then all these other samples.
Right.
You know, by the time you're done with that one tray, you've had 2.5 full donuts.
Right.
And you've only had a third of that place covered. So by the end of the day, you're sick.
Another pro tip: just a bite.
Yeah,
just a bite will do you.
Just a taste is all you really need.
Because you can save them, right?
You can save
them.
it. You can totally
just
save
have
it,
a bite.
and then have them later. Bring them home into the family. But holy shit, was I sick of donuts after that?
Yeah. It was a good time. We took pictures with Brian and Heather, and they had a DJ there playing as well. That was cool.
Donut DJ.
They had a donut DJ playing. It was awesome. It was an awesome time.
So I'm excited to see what next year brings.
Yes.
Seeing and learning from this experience, and they're definitely going to grow next year. Next year's going to be huge. With how fast this sold out, and all the people that wanted to go and were so jealous of us for going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they also had to sell a limited amount of tickets because they weren't sure what the vendors could
big,
keep up with.
Yeah. It's not that big of a place. The vendors can only make so many, so we'll see what next year does.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But way to go, guys.
Good job.
So, there's been electric cars is a topic that a lot of people are kind of like on board with, or completely either against or wishing they could. I'm into wishing I could.
Wishing you could have one?
Yes.
Okay.
Because...
Okay, what holds you back from having one?
The price tag.
Okay. Because, I mean, you could say like a Toyota Prius is not very much.
No, but that's still just a hybrid. That's not a full electric. I'm talking full electric.
Okay. So we're talking like Teslas.
I don't know a lot of the names of the other places. I know there's places coming out. Like there's one place. Actually, Tesla's building a truck. There's a couple other electric trucks that are in the works.
I think Ford was working on an electric truck.
Ford was working on an electric truck, and then there's another company that is creating an electric Ford Bronco.
Interesting.
But it's not Ford that's doing it.
Okay. All right.
But then I heard there was Ford doing a Ford truck starting at like 45,000.
Okay.
And same with Tesla's truck that they're going to come out with. I think it's going to be around 45,000.
No, I actually have a Tesla on my vision board in my office. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of totally electric. I hate making stops at gas stations. I really do.
Right? And it makes you purchase unnecessary shit.
Yeah, it's really, especially I'm a road warrior. Like I'm on the road all the time. Like I'm running around doing appointments, and I run out of gas pretty quick too. So I gotta make stops. Oh, coincidentally, I'm also hungry about the time I need to go get gas. So I gotta stop in and grab me something. Not all the time, but sometimes, I do. You're right.
You know what's another stop you won't have to make anymore?
What?
Oil changes.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
You don't ever have to get an oil change. You don't have to look at all your stupid fluids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even need to look on the road. Just close your eyes and put it in auto mode.
You really do.
And it'll drive
you really could.
Would you do that? I'd be kind of scared.
So we did do that, me and my buddy. So he's got the Tesla 3.
Okay.
And he paid double for the twin engine.
Dang. Because they're pretty quick already.
So the thing starts at like 35,000, right?
Do you know the 0 to 60 time?
On his, 2 seconds. Dang. Maybe less than 2 seconds. That shit was like hitting warp speed.
Wow.
And then there's no gear shifts, so you're just G-forces the whole time, with no breaks in between. When the gears change,
shifts in the gears,
so you don't feel anything. You're just going G-forced against your seat, the full acceleration.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty dope, and just the acceleration don't stop either. You're just hauling ass.
Okay.
And so we were, of course we took it over 100, but then he had the features on there, which is pretty badass, to where the self-driving.
Okay.
You set a speed that you do not want to go over.
All right.
You stay in your lane, and you just turn that shit on, and then he just turns towards me, and we just start having a full conversation, and I'm just like, I'm not okay with this.
How far did you guys go, distance-wise?
A few miles.
Okay.
And so we went that way, and what was crazy was, you're looking at the screen, and the cameras are looking at the vehicles all around you, because there's cameras all around the car.
Interesting.
And it's like, say, a semi is coming along the side of us. The cameras kind of see this, the sensors sense how big this thing is, and then on the screen it shows, like a fake 3D image of a semi going past you. It's crazy. It sees it and it senses it, and then it slows down.
The whole console
and
is like one big tablet, right? The whole console.
Yeah, it looks like a really giant iPad.
Nice.
And this thing was so dope. So it won't go over its speed. It stays, at a certain speed that you want it to, and then it'll slow down and accelerate when it's supposed to. And it is the weirdest thing. It knows when there's, and what I didn't get yet, when we didn't try it yet, I'm sure he has since then, but how would it know when the light's red?
I don't know if it does. I think you still have to brake.
No, it does.
No, it does?
Because if you have it on the auto drive, because they're driving all around the country, auto driving right now. How is it going to be auto driving all around the country if it's not stopping at red lights? I think the red lights send a signal, and these pick up a signal. But what happens when the lights are down and everyone's doing a 4-way stop?
I think you always need to be in control at all times.
Yes. I know Tesla is actually trying to do some shit right now where they're going to try to beat Uber in the taxi business. The self-driving Tesla taxis.
Okay.
So it'll come right to you. You hop in. There's no driver, and it takes you to where you want to go. I guess you don't have to leave a tip, but then that's kind of taking people out of their side hustle.
Yeah.
But what I think people are doing for the side hustle, like what my buddy was telling me, was he would be the one controlling his car to send it as an Uber. So it wouldn't be Tesla.
What?
It wouldn't be Tesla sending their own cars.
Yeah.
It would be consumers who bought Tesla cars who are sending their cars out to people to pick up. So my buddy could sit at home.
I don't know how to absorb all this.
Right? So he just sits at home.
Nervous.
He just sits at home. He gets a ding saying that somebody needs a ride.
Okay.
He opens his garage, sends his car to pick them up. He doesn't even have to leave his couch. Sends his car to pick them up, sends them where do they want to go, brings his car back home, park it back in the garage, and he just keeps getting to watch his show.
He's just multitasking.
Yeah. While he's getting paid to send his car to self-drive itself.
Would you get in? I'd be nervous.
I would be nervous too, but there's cameras on the inside watching people. So he has full control of his vehicle still. He can watch on his phone. Uh-huh. He can watch the cameras on his phone, watch the people in his car.
Talk.
Yes.
Welcome to my
welcome to
Tesla Uber.
So how crazy is that concept?
I don't know what to... I'm really trying to absorb all this. This is the first time I'm hearing this. And I'm trying to absorb all this. And I'm fascinated, I'm excited, and I love
Innovation.
it, and I'm nervous. And it's so much, so many things at once.
And
it's so cool.
The trucks are pretty badass. The torque and the horsepower that these things have, and the price tag so far is pretty spot on with a brand new truck anyways. Okay. Like a brand new Tundra or Titan or Ford, gonna start around 45,000 base, and then it goes up to 100,000 depending on how many bells and whistles. Yeah. So this thing, same thing, starting around 45,000.
I mean, and they're also making semi trucks too.
Yeah, and then
to ship things across the country.
With the semis, they're putting solar panels on them to keep them going without having to stop.
Yep, I think.
Now imagine somebody had asked me. I was talking to somebody about electric cars. Another friend, Brian, that I used to work with, and he was talking about electric cars on Facebook. Okay. And I was just saying how excited I am about this coming into the future. And I think it's great. And I was talking about the electric trucks, and he said, "Yeah, but what happens to your mileage when you're towing? You know what I mean? Because you're putting more power into pulling something. So now you're, of course, just like gas would be pulled out quicker when you're pulling something, you're gonna do the same thing with electricity. So that's a good question. That was a really good question because I really do want to get an electric truck. So, but I think it would be cool if, say, they line the bed of the truck with solar panels. That, I guess, heavy duty solar panels, because you're gonna put shit in the back of that truck. Or maybe just an option. Maybe just an option mat, a solar mat that you can lay out in your bed. Maybe that'd be dope, right?
Yeah, I like it. I like it all. I like it all. I like the thought of less gas usage. I love that.
Well, totally that's the thing is people are so stuck on gas and oil that we don't need to do anymore. And that another thing was because solar's supposedly keeping the economy or keeping the environment clean. You know, it's zero emissions. But then they're talking about the way they have to mine for these batteries to make these creates more pollution than cars would. So, okay, that's I don't know exactly how much pollution that emits. That was just some, you know, to me that's just hearsay for right now because I haven't looked into it or how much emissions are put out. But I do believe there's emissions put out in everything.
Yeah.
But I would like to see, you know, the future that evolved to where they're able to mine the stuff without having to create emissions.
That would be so cool. I mean, I had somebody from Tesla come over and give me quotes for solar powers on my house. So I like Tesla solar power because, you know, when I see solar panels on houses, I just think they look hideous. I'm sorry.
Depends.
Every one of them I've seen looks hideous. Unless it's on the back of the house.
Well, yeah.
When it's in the front.
The ones you can see. Yeah.
I think it just looks terrible. And I love it. I love that you're doing that. I just think they're hideous, though. And I had Tesla come over, and I like what Tesla did because they weren't too high off the roof, and then they beveled, so they looked a lot more smooth. Still, eyesore, in my opinion. However, they also make shingles if you are re-roofing your house.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Or buying a new house.
I would take that route of the shingles, and
they look good.
I don't know if they went went all the way with this or not. I know this was a couple years ago when I saw this concept idea where the windows were also going to be solar powered.
Oh, I've heard that.
So you wouldn't even, it would look like a normal window, but if you look close, you would see kind of like a coil in the glass.
Okay.
And that's really all you would see, but your window would be collecting energy for you.
Interesting.
So not only are you getting it from your roof, you're getting it from your window, and then some places had like battery packs for the walls that would store the energy, so if power does go out, you have a backup generator.
Yes. Yeah, that's what people don't realize is when you have solar panels and the power grid goes out, you still don't have power. You were just supplying it for your house. When the grid's out, the grid's out.
Right.
To provide
so
power.
So with Tesla, they'd have battery packs.
So Tesla, they have a battery pack. So as it consumes and powers your house, it also stores in this battery. This battery you can use to charge your Tesla car, or when the power goes out, it keeps charging your house up, which is a really cool feature. So he was explaining all this to me when he came over. I love the shingles idea. That's what I asked him. I said, what about the whole shingles solar? And he said, well, that's for if you're actually redoing your roof or you're buying a new house. Then they do that. Otherwise, they just do the normal, what you see, panels. But I like it. I think it's cool. I like it. What I'm afraid of, though, is Tesla's always being talked about their longevity, if they're going to be in business much longer.
Well, I mean,
that part always scares me.
Because from what I hear is the problem with Tesla is that they're really the only ones in mass production for electric cars.
True.
So their demand is so high right now.
Right, you have to buy in advance.
Yeah, so it's hard for them to keep up, and you know, and especially because a lot of the Teslas that people buy are customizable.
So they kind of build it by order almost.
Yeah, so you order it online pretty much, and you customize it how you want, and then
it takes a while for them to make it.
Yeah, they have to make it still. Plus, you know, they're still behind on making other people's stuff.
Yeah.
So you know, they don't have any competition really. They have all these concept companies coming out, but they're never fully committed, or they're not executing their goals yet, or something. I don't know what the hell.
What do you think about Elon Musk?
I think he's a badass.
He's an alien.
He's probably. Well, he's illegal. He's a legal alien.
He's like from outer space alien. Like he's just a genius. He thinks on another level. I love that.
Yeah, his mind is on a different wavelength. It's seeing things we're not seeing. So he's doing good shit. Though.
I think they just launched another. I think SpaceX just launched another ship up.
Like so what is he looking for when he's going into space? I don't know what his
Good question, because they sent a Tesla out into space, right?
Yeah, with like a fake guy riding in it.
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
A microchip in the trunk that has like the whole code of what man's about.
I know that his main goal is space exploration, and whether this is my opinion, I'm not 100% sure, but I think his goal is easy access for everyone to do space exploration. That's what I'm thinking. Like, it's not just going to be NASA only, but like people can get in some type of shuttle and it'll shoot you out there and you can orbit the universe and come back and it'll prove to everyone.
Experience weightless, you know, than zero gravity.
Maybe.
I've always wanted to try that.
And then let everyone know, hey guys, guess what? The world is round.
Well, I think everyone does know. Just there's a few dummies that think it's flat.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny was when Netflix had that documentary that the people doing the documentary were completely not flat earthers.
Okay.
But they were doing the documentary on flat earthers.
Okay.
And the shit was hilarious. And at the end of it, these flat earthers are coming up with these experiments to prove that the world is flat.
Right.
And they're like, so I should be able to put this here and look through here and I'll be able to see it because the world's flat. Because if there's a curve, it won't be in here. So, depending on the distance and the height and all that, they do it. It wasn't in view because there's a fucking curve. Dumbass.
Yeah, it's a big Earth. You're not going to notice these curves. It's really big.
And then the one guy, flat earther, that said he's building himself a rocket ship so he could fly up there and see for himself.
Yeah.
And then he almost died because he shot himself up there and he crash landed.
Oh my God. I mean, there are people, you would think there's many edges to this flying disc or rock. You'd think we'd find it by now. Because people are going to be dumb and try to do selfies hanging off the edge of it.
Right.
And then fall into the abyss of space.
Yeah, why don't these flat earthers getting a cruise together and sail off the earth, why don't you?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. I think Elon Musk is just, I just watched an older video. And I guess people like Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong are criticizing him about this whole space exploration. And kind of saying that I can't remember what they were saying, but it was negative. Like
blasphemy.
Yeah, it was negative towards him. And they were asking Elon what he thought about that. And he was tearing up.
Like, they're his heroes?
Yeah, they're his heroes.
But
that's why he's into the whole space exploration. He looks up to those guys.
But yeah, why are they trying to condemn what he's doing though?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they're trying to say you need a lot more training for people. I don't know.
He's probably saying you need to be NASA certified and an astronaut before you don't have to do shit if you got money. If you have money, you can do whatever you want.
But he teared up and I'm like, this dude's a genuine dude. And he was toking it up with Joe Rogan on his podcast one time.
He didn't inhale, he said.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
He looked pretty lit to me.
Did you see that time when Trump was congratulating American entrepreneurs that have done this, that, and the other, and he was congratulating Elon Musk, and Elon Musk totally trolled Trump and told him, "I'm from South Africa, you dumbass."
No.
It was hilarious.
Did he think he was from the U.S. or something?
Yeah, he thought Elon Musk was
because his business is in the U.S.
Well, because he started his business here. Not realizing he's an immigrant.
Accent. That's kind of funny.
What an idiot.
I think it's great. I like the future idea of electric cars going electric. I like the whole idea of solar too. I mean, the sun's pretty accessible.
Right?
It's pretty free too.
Well, another thing too is the water turbines. Not only the air, we could do the same thing with water. And then we won't hear those turbines. They won't give us cancer if we can't hear it. Problem solved. Solving America's problems one at a time. I haven't heard
of the water turbines, but it makes sense. The flow of water is getting it going.
Yeah, so they actually...
That's free too.
Yeah, that's free. So those solar chargers for your phones?
Yes, they have solar
chargers. They have another
one
for camping. It's a water turbine. So if you're camping by the
I've
water...
seen that. Yes.
Yeah, you just throw it in the water, let the water flow, charge all your equipment.
Yeah, I have seen that. Okay, I've seen it. All right, I know exactly what you're talking about. Speaking of those phone chargers, what do you think about the whole wireless charging of phones nowadays?
I love it.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I would like to see that evolve into charging your phone via Wi-Fi.
Yes.
I don't know how that would happen. I don't know how, but I know it's been talked about, and that would be the shit.
Yes, I've heard of that too.
So as soon as you're connected to Wi-Fi, boom, it's charging your phone. But I don't know how the hell that would even happen.
So I've got Apple. You've got Apple iPhone. We had iPhones, and there was rumor that Apple was going to have that AirPower pad.
Yeah, and they just squashed that.
They squashed it because it was overheating. They couldn't keep it cool enough. Because what their goal was, which is a good idea, was that they're going to have multiple coils in this, so that no matter how you place your phone, it didn't have to line up. You just put it down anywhere, it would start charging. But they scrapped it because they couldn't get it to stop overheating. Which I'm like, okay, can't you just do it like a lot of the other ones that are out there, so you can just place it down on a certain spot? So I did buy one. It was a third-party one from Xvita. And it's super thin, so I can take it traveling. It just plugs into one wall, and it has 3 chargers, or 3 coils for 3 devices. One, actually, maybe it's not even, I don't know how these work, but one's for an Apple Watch. So I actually don't know how those charge, but it's for an Apple Watch. And then 2 are for phones or whatever. So I got the new AirPods charging case that's wireless. And so basically, when I'm getting ready to go to bed, I put my phone down, my watch, my AirPods, and then I play on my iPad for a little bit, and before I go to bed, I take them all off, and they're all charged, ready to go for the next day. I have a trip coming up. I can't wait to try this out as well. Traveling, I'm super excited about this. It's so
you
cool.
can bring your mat on vacation with you.
Just so I can take my mat.
So I need to get out of this place so I can just bring this mat.
Just so I can prove this thing is awesome.
Just so I can show you how tight I can pack all my bags.
And it works out too really well because the color is black, so I like that better. It's black instead of white. And it was like probably a third of the cost of what the Air Power would be.
Right. Yeah.
The rumor was gonna be like $120. I got this for $40 on Amazon.
Yeah, I think I paid like $20 for my little charging tower, and it's just like looks like a little stand, and it wirelessly. I just put my phone against it, charges that. My watch goes on top. Boom, bam, boom. Everything's charged.
It's a great time to be alive.
It's folks. A great time, everybody.
It's a great time to be alive.
What about flying cars, though?
I haven't even wrapped my head around it. I thought it'd be here by now.
They've had a few of those concepts where they had the car that drives out of your garage, folds wings down.
I have not seen
and then
this.
Takes off, and then it can land in water. It can land on the road. It can land in water. It can take off from water.
I have not even
There's
seen
a couple of those concepts that have came out like almost 10 years ago that there was one that came out. Nothing's happened since then. I've seen a couple other concepts come out, but still, I think it's just too damn dangerous with all the power lines we have in the sky.
Yeah, that's another thing. Why are there still power lines? Why are they not underground by now?
For real.
Like phone lines? Why do we still have phone lines? Well, who still has a landline? Why do you have a landline?
Our parents do.
It's cheaper to just get like a...
Well, everyone already has a cell phone. It's cheaper to just get rid of your landline.
It's cheaper to get rid of your landline. But even if you keep it, like, just to get one of those phones that have like limited minutes, because... I don't know. Are you really on your phone that much? I don't even know. I don't know why people have landlines. Like, I think when you take all the telephone lines down already, like, I just think they look ugly now.
Right. But I think just without having the air regulated right now, there's no pathways in the sky, so everyone's just like a free-for-all.
I don't want some 16-year-old kid texting and air flying.
Well, you know what they've been doing? These, like, single-person drones. And that was another concept coming out with a sky taxi where these drones will pick you up. Yeah, I forgot all about this. So it's like a little air bubble with a seat. And they will fly over, land. You get in, and it flies up, takes you where you're going, lands, you get out.
Who's using this? Is this a concept still?
It's still a concept. It's not in play yet.
This needs to get in motion.
I can't remember where they talked about this, if they do get it, where they would test it out at. I can't remember. But I would be scared of shit. I would be really scared falling out of that thing.
How high is it going?
Well, it's got to be above buildings. And is it going to follow streets, or is it just going to like take you slanted right to where you want to go?
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's
kind of
uncharted territory. But it needs to happen soon. I was expecting jetpacks by now, hoverboards.
How about that jetpack with that? There's a guy that flies on a jet engine on his feet. A single jet engine.
I don't know this either.
You haven't seen these videos?
No.
Where have you been? So anyways, this guy has a single jet engine on that he's standing on.
Okay.
That thing takes him up in the sky, and he's hauling ass flying around like Iron Man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And on these test runs, he's over like a lake. He's doing it on top over a lake, so in case he crash lands, he's going into a body of water instead of face planting on rock.
He just electrocutes himself is all.
No, he wouldn't. It would just kill the engine.
I know.
But his landing's pretty spot on. His takeoffs, he just boom takes off and just leans which way he wants to go, and he's flying.
Interesting.
The thing is pretty dope. I'm sure it's super loud.
We need to get these in mass production, because I hated these little hoverboards that are not hoverboards.
They're not hovering on shit.
They're rollerboards.
They're electric skateboards that you stand straight on.
Yeah, I call them rollerboards.
Rollerboards.
They're just rolling. They're just rolling forward. They're not hovering. I was expecting hoverboards by now.
Well, the next step is I think I'm going to get an electric truck in the next couple of years.
Exciting.
So, because Malay's going to have her license, and I'm just going to give her my car because it'll be paid off.
All right.
And I'll be like, you know what I need? Another car payment.
Because basically, would you, I guess, just buy a power battery for your garage? Is that what you do?
Yeah, you'd have to have an electrician come over and install one of those, what is it, the 240 line that you would use for like a dryer.
Okay.
And then run that to your breaker, and then just take that and plug it into your car.
Very interesting. Very cool.
Couple more years, folks. Couple more years.
Yes.
I'm gonna join the future. So one of the other events we did over the weekend was a 3-part ghost hunt along the main street of Santaquin, Utah.
Yes, sir.
So we went back to White Feather. Wanted to bring some of the team members over there to see some of the stuff going on. And then there was the Leslie's Family Tree, which is super haunted. It's all over Travel Channel.
Yep.
On Dead Files and Ghost Adventures were
Yep.
there. And then in that same building is a printing shop, and that place, the owner of that wanted us to go in and check stuff out. So we did 3 businesses all on the same street that night.
Yeah, we had a busy night for sure.
But the White Feather, we didn't spend too much time in there. Tim and Caden just wanted to get that negative energy and moved it out real quick. And then the owner of the print shop came in, and so he was ready for us. So instead of hanging out at White Feather and investigating more, we went over there because we didn't want to keep him waiting too long. But I told Loretta at White Feather, we'll come back again and do some more like sit down investigating and stuff, because I would still want to do some more communicating with those spirits that are in there, not the negative ones, because now they're gone. But then over there at that print shop, I felt negativity right away going up those stairs to the second level.
Right, and then we had our medium Brandy. She verified that there was kind of something evil in the corner, and Tim also kind of felt it as well.
And then while Tim was sitting there, he felt the presence of like a little girl holding his hand. And then Brandy confirmed it. She saw the little girl. I put the K2 right next to Tim.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that K2 wasn't really picking up on much. Every now and then it would kind of light up to the second dot on the K2, which is the EMF detector.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Brandy would communicate with this little girl, and every time Brandy was done talking and the little girl spirit that would be her time for a response, you would see the K2 spike. And then Brandy would say what she just said.
So again, the K2 meter, it lights up according to energy fields.
It's like 5 or 6 lights.
It starts off at green, just kind of standard green, and it goes up from green to yellow to orange to red. And it would spike up to orange and red.
Right. And then especially on the answers that she either really liked or didn't like. So just on a regular answer, it'd only go about halfway on the K2. But if it was something she didn't like, or it was something that made her laugh, it would spike red. It would be like more energy was put out by the spirit. So the more energy, emotion of excitement or happiness or dislike, those strong emotions showed on the K2 is pretty nuts.
Yeah, and the reason why this little girl, I think she said was 7.
Yeah.
And we kept hearing the name Cadence. We were using an Echo Vox and your new S-Box.
The S-Box works pretty dope, huh?
It was really awesome. And we kept hearing the name Cadence. So we were asking what that was. And we found out that Brandy, our medium, her twin sister was named Cadence that passed away.
The spirit, the little girl spirit.
Yeah, she didn't know that. And she wasn't really sure that she had passed away. So she had to break the news to her that she had passed away, and that's when it kind of spiked too.
Yeah, it's like she didn't like that, and she thought Tim was
her brother.
Yeah, her brother Grant.
Yeah,
and so when she said that wasn't Grant, it was spiking red. That she did not like that.
Yeah, she liked that answer. So it's very interesting. They also help get that negative energy out.
Yeah, that was something bad. And I have noticed now. This is multiple times I've been to a location where I feel a lot of energy coming from a location of the house. Or business, whatever, and I go over there, and it's usually like an electrical boxes right there, a lot of electrical equipment, and in this place, same thing. There's like a lot of electrical computer towers and stuff in that area that were all plugged in and running. So there was a lot of EMF going on right there.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that in numerous places now. Those areas I get drawn to right away because of that energy, but it's also where a lot of negative energy hangs out.
Interesting. That's pretty interesting.
So multiple places now that I've noticed that especially when it's tucked in a way in like a back dark corner, that's when I've noticed it the most. Okay. Like I'll feel something like, damn, that corner over there, I feel some shit over there. And then like, what's behind the store? Oh, that's like the electrical panels and all that stuff. Like, oh, okay, maybe that's what I'm feeling, and I'll just discredit it. And then later somebody comes in like Brandon, like, oh, there's a lot of negative shit right there. There's a a negative spirit right there. I'm like, oh, I felt it, but I just thought maybe I was just feeling all the electrical shit.
Okay, interesting.
So I have noticed that multiple times now.
We also went down to the basement. And we didn't really feel anything down there. And then Brandy showed up later and confirmed there was nothing really down in the basement. They just kind of feel a little eerie sometimes. But it's a basement, so I can see that. However, while me and you were talking to the owner, Kevin, we were just standing there talking. We heard a loud bang behind us. Not a loud bang, but basically something had fallen.
Yeah, and I thought that was you. I thought maybe your foot hit something and knocked something
you thought
over.
I bumped into something. And I was like, no, I'm standing still. Sounded like something had fallen over onto this metal table, and I was like, "Wow, that was pretty interesting." I asked Kevin, I said, "Does that happen a lot?" He goes, "Oh yeah, like you hear things, they want you to know you're here."
But yeah, there was more spirits in there than just because also on that main level there was an old couple. There was spirits, there's an older couple spirits that were in that main level. So when Brandy opened up the light for that little girl to cross over, she was saying how this old couple were running to get in there. And what was funny is I had the K2 right. I was standing next to Brandy and she's sitting on the floor opening this light. As I'm standing there and she's saying the old couple's running to it, as they run past, I guess as their spirits would be coming past me, it set the K2 off.
Interesting.
So that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So I was standing there with that, watching that as it was happening. So that was interesting.
That was cool. Then we headed over to the family tree last to the restaurant.
That was the last stop for the night.
And as soon as we got there, we just said hi. We went straight down to the basement.
Yeah, went down to the basement because that's where a lot of the negative shit hangs out.
Yeah, so we know two things have happened in that basement. Again, we've mentioned it before. Paul Welch saw this gray-skinned boy crawling like a spider on the floor. Another time, another friend of ours, he goes by Lurch, he went down there and tried to antagonize and say, I don't know what he said, but a rock was thrown at him. He was by himself down there. Mm-hmm. And a rock was thrown at him and hit near him. He got spooked out and ran upstairs. He's like, all right. sorry. So we know there's things down there. So what we did is there was another couple down there. And what we did is we have this laser grid. So, like those laser pointers.
Yep, so this is just a lot of little dots.
A lot of little dots, so you could see if anything crosses any beams as it moves. So we casted that out, and we were doing the Echo Vox and the S-Box both, which kind of simultaneously going back and forth with them. We weren't getting a lot of communication. Anyway, there's a name of an evil spirit that's well known there. The name is Lucy. Maybe I shouldn't even say that out loud.
The name that shall not be spoken. Now you can say Lucy.
But anyway, that's a well-known spirit that's there. It's pretty evil, I guess you could say here. And we weren't getting much response, so I just said, is your name really Lucy? And we finally hear an answer come back and say, yes. Right? Yeah. So finally we have an answer come through. We keep asking more questions, nothing. I had this feeling inside me, though, of to antagonize it, though. I don't know why I had this feeling I wanted to call it out.
That's probably the only way that we would have probably gotten anything to happen, because
maybe.
The last couple times now that I've been there, I haven't really felt much there anymore.
Me neither. But I didn't want to do that with this couple here that they paid for an experience to go there. I mean, we didn't pay. We just walked right in the place. Again,
Buko Boys our team paid for it.
And so I didn't want to scare them, make them uncomfortable. So I didn't want to do that. But you did ask a question. I believe it was you. You said, "How long have you been here?" Right? Was that you?
Yeah. I said, what is it?
Overnight.
Overnight. Yeah.
Now again, this is sweeping. This is through the S-Box, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it was in the S-Box. I need to go through the evidence on that still. Yeah. But yeah, it was
to hear that word overnight, that's a long word, and which is very coincidental to your question. So that was, for me, the most interesting things that happened that night. I didn't really get a lot. Yeah,
because, there's a lot of portals in the area, so I could see a spirit being there just overnight.
Yeah.
Because they just kind of come in and out. But I haven't really felt a lot in there. I think a lot of the spirits there are just kind of getting pissed with all the traffic.
I agree.
I think they've just been putting out a lot of energy constantly over everyone trying to communicate, so they're just probably exhausted.
That's why I like when we do investigations in a small group. You know, so you're not over bothering these spirits.
Right. I like more intimate settings where you're not having all this drowned out noise coming from other investigators that are upstairs or downstairs, and you hear voices coming through your devices.
I was telling you, I would definitely spend the night down there in that basement. I wouldn't really want to do it alone, but I would spend the night. Like, if they said, hey, Derek Dale, you want to sleep down here in the basement overnight? I'm like, yup. Let's get some cameras on and some recorders, and let's do that.
I would just set a voice recorder, leave that running throughout the night. That would be pretty. Except for we snore really loud. So you probably wouldn't be able to hear shit coming through there besides all night long.
That's true.
I don't hear any voices.
That is true.
But I did just another Buko Boys exclusive. Talked to a owner of a local tattoo shop.
Oh yeah.
Downtown that asked if I wanted to investigate because they have stuff going on there.
Right.
So I kind of asked them for some stories, and they were like, "Why don't you just come investigate?" You got it.
We're coming.
Yep. So I'm just gonna set up a date for that, and then we'll check that out. That'll be another exclusive.
That'll be fun. That'll be
dope.
Fun.
So
yeah, that was our time in Santaquin over the. That was our weekend. That was
Buko
Boys weekend.
Crazy
fun weekend.
But there was more to it, and this is the part where, if you don't want anything spoiled, because this weekend was intense. Yes. Not only did we do all the fun shit, we also had the Avengers Endgame that came out.
Yes.
And
you finally watched it.
The Battle of Winterfell.
So, if you haven't... We're going to talk about Endgame first.
We'll talk about Endgame, and then we'll talk about Game of Thrones.
So, if you haven't seen these... If you guys want, you can turn off the podcast now. Because there are some spoilers.
Come on back afterwards, because we're going to spoil the shit out of it.
Mark the time where you're leaving.
52 minutes.
And come back and
check
it out.
52 minutes and get ready to get your ass spoiled.
All right. So, we're delaying here. We're giving you enough time.
1,
you ready?
2... Hey, get the hell out. Now's your last chance. Okay, here we go. Spoil time.
I'm going to grab a donut here while we talk about it. So, Endgame first.
Okay.
So, I watched it Thursday night, like I said. I went to a 10 p.m. showing, wild hair up my ass, went by myself. I didn't drink anything, so I could sit through the whole 3 hours. Did you sit through the whole 3 hours?
I sure shit did.
Did you get a drink?
I did, but I sipped it slow.
You play it risky sometimes, brother.
I sipped it slow. I peed a good 3 times before the movie.
Good.
And then just sip my drink through that whole thing and didn't have to get up once.
All right. What'd you think?
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So the beginning, you got Tony Stark.
He's out in space.
And some sons of bees out there, you know who you are, were trying to spoil this for everybody. Everyone kept saying, Tony dies. You know, I kept seeing all this shit. I kept seeing all this shit everywhere. People trying to be sneaky, typing it in certain ways and, you know, putting in ways to spoil it because people are dicks like that. So anyways...
DVO went Thursday and didn't spoil it for anybody.
Didn't spoil a thing.
Be more like DVO, everybody.
So anyways, the beginning, it shows him there with Nebula. And boom, I'm thinking he's dead. I thought he's dead.
Like he was going to run out of air or water or food?
Because he was pretty much dead already. It looked like he died.
He looked sickly.
Nebula carries him to his...
put him in the cockpit.
Put him in the cockpit,
right.
So he dies looking like, pilot, like a pilot.
So you thought, right in like the first 5 minutes, he was going to be dead?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. Getting real sad. Then here comes Captain Marvel saving the day.
That's why I said make sure you watch Captain Marvel first.
So you understand her shit. So he's like trying to die, and here she is blinding him. He's like, get out of here, I'm trying to die. So she saves his ass, and I'm like, oh, okay, the whole Tony dies thing was just a thing to get people worked up.
Ruse.
Yeah. But, oh shit, was I wrong?
Oh man.
But,
Captain Marvel brings them down to headquarters, Avengers headquarters.
Yep. And he's just pissed off at Captain America.
I told you we should have done some shit.
Yep. So he faints, and then they try to get him better, and he's Tony being Tony. But and then they show good old Lebowski.
Thor
Lebowski
was hilarious.
That was the best
whole movie. They're in New Asgard, which is in like Norway or something. So they're in New Asgard.
Yeah, so the surviving Asgardians.
They're all just fishermen.
Yeah, they just look like a European country of fishermen.
He hangs out with Krog, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that was up there on the planet with him when he was...
the gladiator.
Oh, you know what we skipped real quick, though, before that happened? Before it showed Thor, and then it shows them kill Thanos.
I was not expecting that in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Was like, what? They catch him, boom, cut off his arm before he could do anything.
Well, yeah, so they see the gauntlet. They don't know there's no stones. Yeah. They just see him wearing a gauntlet still.
Because it's like melted to him.
Quick Stormbreaker cuts right through him like butter. His so what happened? Rolling. You can see his arm. His arm is like so much smaller because what he did is he tried to destroy the stones.
Yeah. So he did what his accomplished goal. He accomplished his goal. So he's like, no one else needs these. Blah blah blah. Uses the stones to destroy themselves.
Yeah. But that sends a signal to them to realize, okay, here's Thanos is over here.
Well, Nebula already knew where he was going to be.
No, they had an idea.
Right, and then
Rocket
they got that...
kind of pinpointed, and she's like, I know exactly where
they got that same energy surge that happened when he snapped his fingers.
That's right, yep.
So they went there, and boom, there he was. And how quick did they just murder his ass?
Yeah.
Boom, there goes his arm. Boom. And then they talk about this. It was a quick second, and then all of a sudden, Thor just, boom, cuts his head off.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what did you do? I went for the head.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I was like, so the movie's over? It just started. How the hell are we going to get 3 hours out of this?
Right.
And then it shows Lebowski 5 years later.
That's right. So then it goes
5 years into the future.
Years in the future.
So, but I think this is all happening in 2017. Because 5 years in the future, I believe they're only 2022 or 2023.
Oh.
So they're not 5 years from right now. They're 5 years back when Infinity War happened.
Okay.
So when Infinity War happened, was that 2018?
It might have been 2018.
Okay, so they only jumped to 2023.
Okay.
So they jumped to 2023 and they show Thor Lebowski video gaming and Fortniting it up.
Yeah, with what is his name? Grog?
I can't remember what his name is, but it was just hilarious. But you could tell he's just been in like living in squalor and his own depression,
just drinking beer.
Yeah,
that's why he's so fat now.
Yeah,
like
he just has a beer belly
and play Fortnite.
And he just wears his sunglasses indoors.
Yeah, his hair's long again. Love handles.
But so how right was I about him getting Mjolnir back or whatever his hammer is?
Yeah, let me look at how we got to that though.
Okay.
All right, so what happens there? So they get Thor,
and then here comes Ant-Man popping out of because he's got all his belongings are in storage because they think he got evaporated.
So Mickey Mouse sets him free.
Yeah, no, it was a rat. There's a rat walking all over his shit, and then boom, brings him back. And
so it's been 5 years.
And
he
to
feels
him,
like 5 hours.
5 hours have gone by. He goes and finds his daughter, and she's grown up now.
Now, did you see the security guard at the place?
No.
You didn't notice the security guard?
No.
It's Ken Jeong from...
Oh, yes, I did see that, yeah. I thought you were talking about the security guard from the other Ant-Man and the Wasp movie.
No.
Oh, the Mexican dude. Yeah, you're talking about Ken Jeong?
Yes.
Yeah, I did notice him.
The band store.
Yeah.
Now, they do 5 years later, and the world looks like...
There's a lot of missing people, of course. Half the population is gone.
But it looks like no one has moved on. Like, there's, like... They show
missing signs everywhere.
City Field or something like that, and it's like
where the Mets
barren.
play.
Yeah, where the Mets play, it's barren. The parking lot's full of just empty cars. It's like, why is it like there's still people? Like, why are you guys not?
I know, right?
I'd
be claiming shit. I'd be like, hey, so this whole family's gone. I'm gonna take this house.
Yeah.
All their cars. I guess I'll take those.
Exactly.
I don't know why everyone's just leaving shit, especially when you could use it for parts or whatever. Everybody just left everything sitting everywhere. But they were just trying, I think for the movie, trying to make it look abandoned.
Yeah, it looked desolate, it looked depressing. I think they were going for that depressing look because, again, 5 years later, now it shows they're doing hologram meetings. They're still trying to help the universe.
But yeah, there's nothing really there.
Captain Marvel is in one channel. War Machine is on another channel. Who was it? Rocket and someone else was on another channel, and then Black Widow was at Avengers home base, and they were like having hologram meetings, talking about, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they were just trying to still keep saving the planet or the world universe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just keeping in touch with everybody, see how everything is everywhere, if anyone needs help.
But one thing is Captain Marvel says, hey, I got this big project. You won't hear from me for a while. That's a big message she put out there.
Well, yeah, and they were like, where are you going to be? She's like, well, there's all these other planets, and
you're
none
not
of them have
one.
you guys.
Yeah, not that every planet has, Avengers or superheroes, so got to help these other planets out. Which is a big part, because like, I'll be back. I'll be gone for a while. I don't know when I'll be back. Which is huge. Yeah. Actually, in hindsight, becomes huge.
Yeah.
So now you said Ant-Man comes back and he sees his daughter.
Yeah. So that part really got to me because I'm like, I couldn't imagine 5 years passing and age progression happening, and then seeing my daughter in 5 years.
Right.
I would lose my shit. I would be so upset losing all that time.
Yeah.
So I could that part got to me. I'm like, I couldn't imagine going through that. Especially because he had no idea. It only felt like a little bit of time had gone by.
Yeah, exactly. He comes back and he sees like the missing signs. Those are still up.
Mm-hmm.
He sees some random kid riding his bike. He's like, "Hey, what happened?" The kid's like, "Weirdo," and takes off. And so yeah, he's shocked. So it he finally pieces it together eventually.
Yeah, and then they show Hulk as Professor Hulk.
Oh, one more thing though. Talking about kids, Hawkeye starts the show off.
Yeah,
before the snap. And Hawkeye's teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow and arrow.
And she's already good.
She hits the bullseye. Like, great job, Hawkeye. I guess I didn't realize this. They've never mentioned that name in the whole Avengers movies. They've never said the name Hawkeye before.
Yeah, they have.
The other people are saying they've never said the word. They always go by his name. Barton. Hey, Barton. His last name. They always called him Barton.
I could have sworn in the first Thor movie when he shows up, I could have sworn they might have called him Hawkeye there.
You should watch it because other things I watched, this is the first time they've ever said the name Hawkeye.
Okay.
And obviously,
actually, no, I can't think of them saying it now.
Yeah. So he's teaching her how to shoot bow and arrow. His boys and his wife are getting a picnic ready, and they're like, "Hey, what do you want on your burger or hot dog?"
He retrieves the arrow, turns around.
You see the dust of his daughter, and he's like, "Hey, where you at?" And he looks back at his family, see the dust of them. Everyone in the movie when I was in was like, like, oh.
Yeah, and he's like panic. He starts panicking. He did a good job at that panic too.
Yeah, which then turned him into a rogue. Goes by the name Ronin. Yeah, like a rogue samurai killing. He just went pure killing vigilante and was traveling all over the world.
Japan.
They found him in Japan, but Rhodey, War Machine, was saying, "Hey, looks like in this." I can't remember where he said. But it looks like his work again. They weren't saying his name, but they were like, it looks like his MO. And that's when Black Widow goes to go find him, and stuff like that. So, he said it looks like other places that he's been to.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, yeah, so sorry. But I want to go back to that. So now let's go back to Ant-Man. So yeah, his daughter's 5 years older. And now he's piecing it together. But he's in San Francisco. So I'm assuming he drove his van to New York. Because he's in his van. I think that's where the Avengers headquarters is, right? Isn't it in New York?
I'm not sure where
it was. The Battle of New York. When the aliens came
but it
in.
wasn't at their Avengers place. But I'm guessing
yes, because that's where Loki was. Because it was Stark Towers, and when
Stark Towers is in New York.
Yeah, it was when they destroyed it. The A from Stark was left, and that became Avengers. Then they moved it later to like a facility versus the tower, because the tower, I don't know what happened.
No, the Stark Tower originally was in L.A. His home, anyways, and then after his home got destroyed, he built a huge Stark Tower in New York.
Oh, okay. So I wonder if he drove to L.A. or New York. But anyway, Ant-Man finally arrives.
Yeah. Either way, Ant-Man drives his van,
and he meets up, and Captain America and Black Widow are there, and he tells them, "Hey, 5 years have gone by. It felt like 5 hours."
Oh yeah. Well, they need a genius, so they need science to get them. Because Ant-Man explains the whole time travel thing.
The quantum realm.
Yep. So then they go and talk to Tony. Tony doesn't want any part of it. Then they go talk to Bruce Banner, who is Bruce Banner's mind in the Hulk's body, which is the shit.
So he turned up the gamma radiation and fused the two. So he's like, I got the mind of Banner and the strength and brawn of Hulk.
Yeah, and he's like loving that life.
Yeah, because people want to take selfies with him.
Well, the best part is just because he's Mark Ruffalo. He's just like such a calm person.
Yeah,
and he's just so like lackadaisical when it comes to his mannerisms and talking and stuff. And so when they go back into time and he sees himself smashing shit, and he's just like embarrassed about how his actions looked. Because he looks like a little kid just breaking shit and having a fit.
Throwing tantrums. Yeah. So they finally figure out, so they go visit.
Well, Hulk, just to speed things up, Hulk does his thing with the quantum realm, and Ant-Man keeps coming back and forth as old himself and young self.
Yeah.
And then he finally gets it right, and he's like, I don't know who peed in my pants, old me or young me.
Because he went to a baby.
Or me.
Yeah.
And so Tony shows up because he's like, he figured it out how to do it.
Well, let's talk about that, because what happens is now
he gets obsessed with it.
Tony is living in a cabin out in the woods with Pepper Potts,
and a baby.
And they have a baby now.
Yes, so
which they named Morgan. And if you remember in the Avengers Infinity Stone, what was it called again?
Which one?
The last Avengers.
Infinity War.
They were walking in the park after a jog and said, "Hey, I had a dream last night that you had a baby."
Oh yeah.
And we named him Morgan. Well, they had a girl instead, but they still named the girl Morgan though.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was a little callback to the.
That's cool. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. And so they have a kid and they go visit, and he's like, "Listen, you guys can stay for dinner, but we're not talking Avengers stuff. Like, I'm out. I love my life now."
Yeah, which I get it, but at the same time, he's always obsessive, so he starts obsessing over the time travel. So he starts
working on it,
and just for fun, he throws it out to his AI to see if they could do it, and they stitched it together, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. So he puts his baby to sleep, puts Morgan to sleep, gives her a popsicle, lays down with Pepper. They're kind of talking a little bit, and says, "So I figured it out." She's like, "What? Time travel." So should I destroy it? What should I do with it? But she says, "You won't rest."
Yeah, you won't rest.
You won't rest. So that's key. That's key to the end. That phrase right there, right? So she says, "You won't rest." Anyway, he shows up when they're trying to put Ant-Man, and they're putting him back through time, and he keeps changing from a baby to an old man and things like that. He shows up and says, "I know how to do it. I figured it out." So they go and figure out time travel.
So they know they have to grab all the stones before Thanos does.
Yes.
And what's crazy is when they go, they all split off into teams. And when Nebula shows up to the same, I guess, galaxy that the Nebula from that timeline is, their minds cross. And they just start feeding each other's
visions,
data, because they're on the same network, I guess.
Right.
So they're sharing data because they're the same person. And so Thanos gets hip to what's going on.
Yeah, so he watches a vision of the current Nebula.
Yeah, and this is 2014 Thanos. So this is when Gamora and Nebula were still considered his daughters.
Yes, good point.
And they were both still like doing his bidding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were both killers and all that shit. So when she goes back and that Nebula is like still trying to please her father and do everything, so she finds that Nebula, they swap places, and so now you got bad Nebula in place of good Nebula.
Yeah, and she realizes, oh man, he knows what's up because he's seen the vision of them chopping off his head, of Thor chopping off his head, and he's like, oh, prophecy fulfilled. So he was okay with him dying. He's like, all right, cool.
Because he did what he wanted to do. But now he's in the process of still getting all the stones from all them to still make sure it happens and maybe change things. But what was nuts is that Tony Stark fails because they go back to where the Battle of New York was.
Right.
So where, they beat up Loki, and Loki's handcuffed and everything.
It's cool that they showed
the behind the scenes look. So like all of the Avengers after everything's happened and they're kind of like talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, they put them in handcuffs.
behind the stages of like a movie set,
right,
or something. This shit was good
because they put him in handcuffs. Like, you gotta go down the elevator. But now you gotta take the stairs.
And and Hulk's all pissed off about the stairs. So that's how come he gets to the bottom of the stairs and throws the door open and hits Tony Stark, and which ruins his whole plan.
Yeah, because he was. But then
Loki gets the Tesseract, right?
Yeah,
because he can't still end up dying the way he dies because of he's got that spin-off show about to happen. So it shows how he moves on and survives. So he'll never end up dying. and so he might just go. I'm excited to see where this new Loki TV show goes.
So
now.
before they, so they're all in New York for the Battle of New York when the aliens came in the Age of Ultron.
That was the first Avengers movie.
That was the first Avengers, yeah.
Yep.
Well, while they go, Captain America and Iron Man go do the Tesseract, Bruce Banner, the Hulk, goes to where the
before we move on, before we
is.
change places real quick, while we're still there in that building, how badass was that when Captain America, he knew already, because at the time he didn't know about Hydra.
Oh yeah.
And so he knows all those guys are Hydra. Now, you know,
in the elevator scene.
In the elevator scene. At the time he didn't know. So he gets in the elevator with all those guys and they start getting nervous.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh fuck, he's on us.
And in that Avengers movie, he fights them in the elevator.
Yeah, there's a big fight scene in the elevator.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, he just goes, Hail Hydra. And they're all like, oh, damn.
Okay,
Cap's all in. Cap's in on this. Hell yeah. So they're just like, cool. Here you go, Cap.
Here's the staff.
And because he just said it with like being all nonchalant. And they're like, cool.
Yeah.
He's on our side. All right.
Yeah.
So they just give it to him.
Yeah.
And then, Bruce Banner goes to the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, that's right. I can remember the name, yeah.
And she just straight knocks him out of his body.
And she knows, like, he's from the future. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're, like, obviously, yeah, very powerful.
Yeah, because he's looking for Doctor Strange, and she's like, "You're 5 years too soon."
Yeah, because she knows of his future, Doctor Strange's future.
Yeah, and so what do you want with him? He points at her time stone. He's all, "I need that," and then boom, knocks him out of his body. You ain't touching this, son.
Yeah, because he's being kind of threatening. I gotta take it then. She's like, oh, really?
Yeah. So then she explains to him how the time continuum works and everything.
Yeah. So what happens is, you going back in time doesn't affect the future. So that's, most people think that, right? Like if you do something in the past, it will now affect the future. And what she's saying is, no, it branches another part of the future. So everything that's happened remains. Just now you have another branch of the future.
See, in that part, I couldn't wrap my head around. I was having a hard time wrapping my head around. Kind of like how Ant-Man's just sitting there like, so you're telling me Back to the Future is full of shit. That's how I felt. I'm like, it's got to be full of shit because if you do something in the past, your future self is affected by it, right?
You would think so, but I like how they did that because then it doesn't affect the future. Like, things still happen. The Captain America still did Captain America stuff. He still got unfrozen and still did stuff in the 2000s.
Yeah, so it is a really cool concept that I'm still trying to embrace. But the way we've been taught how time travel works through all these stupid movies just won't allow my mind to let it happen. I just gotta untie it.
Yes.
As if it's never happened.
Right.
And that logic is just thrown out the door. So I gotta do that in order to finally wrap my head around this shit.
But it makes sense though, because it's like, yeah, okay, we gotta make sure things still happened.
Yeah, so what was cool is that the Sorcerer Supreme 5 years ago still knew that there was going to be Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that
was pretty cool. And then so she ends up just giving him the time stone because he's saying how Doctor Strange just willingly gave it to Thanos. Right. So she's like, so maybe it's because he had to do that because I didn't do this.
Right.
So she's like, boom, gives it to him.
Gives him the Nebula also got the purple stone. I remember that one was called. So Hulk now has the green stone.
Captain America
had the staff.
But then Tony Stark
lost the Tesseract. So he had to go back in time again.
That was a cool story. We'll go back to that.
Yeah.
But then Natasha and Clint go get the Soul Stone.
Right.
Not knowing how you have to retrieve it. And then boom, here comes the Red Skull, telling them how they're supposed to get it, and then they're both trying to kill themselves, sacrifice themselves, and Natasha ends up being the one to do it.
Because you have to sacrifice something you love. They love each other as friends. They're
like family.
He saved her life. He was supposed to assassinate her at one point, but he spared her, and then she ended up working for S.H.I.E.L.D. with him.
And they both kind of are equally partners. Combative. Yeah. Like they are both on the same level.
So they have a love for each other on a friendship level, because he's married with kids. So they have a love on a friendship level. So they both are like, I'll sacrifice myself. So it was funny how they were doing it, right? They were both like outwitting each other to
try to kill themselves.
Jump off. Yeah.
And she's like, no, you have a wife and kids that are gonna come back, And
yeah.
And she shoots him with something that he's stuck to, and he's dangling, and so he's trying to hold on to her, and she finally gets off.
Says, let me go.
So she dies, and they get the Soul Stone. He gets the Soul Stone. Comes back. Everyone meets back together. Tony says how he failed, and then they're like, "Where's Natasha?" And everyone's kind of realizes what happened, starts crying.
And they don't realize the bad Nebula has come back.
Right, now you got Bad Nebula there. Bad Nebula goes and calls Thanos to come, so he's on his way now.
Yeah.
But then Captain America and Tony have to go back to go get
the Tesseract. So they go back further where they know where it is.
Right, and then when Tony sees his dad,
yeah,
he's just like, what's your name? Howard? Oh, that'll be easy name to remember because that's my name.
Yeah, he's trying to come up with a name.
And then Howard what? Potts? Yeah. That was too good. And then
gives him a big hug at the end.
Yeah,
that's weird.
He's like, thanks for everything. What?
Yeah.
You've done for the country. Thanks for everything you've done for the country.
Right.
But I mean, that was pretty sentimental. That was pretty cool.
Because he didn't have a good relationship with his dad.
But guess what, though? That kind of closed his story. If you didn't... Because, I mean, he didn't have that close relationship with his dad, right?
Right.
So now, boom, he just got to see his dad and kind of say that thank you that he never got to say before, because his dad died when he was young, when he was still a reckless teenager.
Yeah.
So now, as an adult...
the Winter Soldier.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, as an adult, reliving the things he's done and knowing what his mind, or where his mind was at the time, and that he should have been trying to be closer to his dad and stuff.
Because at this time, I think
his mom was pregnant with him.
Pregnant with him, yeah, okay.
And so, they were having this whole conversation about kids and stuff, and man, that was really cool. But but it did close the story.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about it at the time watching it, but that closed his book.
So they get the Tesseract now.
Oh, not only that, but then Captain America sees Agent Carter, same location.
Oh, yes.
That's when he sees her through the window, and he's all that stuff's coming back to him.
Sentimental.
And he's just like, you know what he wants to do, but he has a mission to do.
Yeah.
But that was that whole scene, that section, man.
You're right. I didn't think about that either.
There was a lot going on in that timeline that they went to.
They went to the 50s.
They went to that Camp Lehigh where Captain America actually turned into Captain America, I believe. Or no, it wasn't in there. But that's the camp where he went through boot camp.
Okay. Yeah. So very cool. And they get it. They go back, meet up with everybody, and. So they have all the stones, and Iron Man makes an Iron Man gauntlet now.
Right. He makes the Iron Gauntlet.
Because was he going to snap his fingers? Was Iron Man going to do it?
He was going to.
Yeah.
Well, no, he wasn't going to. They were asking.
Oh,
Thor wanted to do it.
Thor wanted to do it. He's like, I'm the strongest Avenger. I'll do it.
Yeah, he wanted to do it, and then that's when Hulk was like, no, this was actually... Like, almost I was made for this because it's going to emit gamma radiation, which would kill anybody else.
Thor or Thanos almost died.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. So Hulk was like, I'm pretty much was made by gamma. Gamma's not going to hurt me.
Yeah.
So I need to be the one that does this.
Yes.
So boom, he snaps his fingers. Everybody, brings everybody back. And he says
all of a sudden there's more birds that fly around them. So that's like the first sign life has come back.
And they don't know that Thanos has actually... ripped a hole, came into our solar system, now is right above the Avengers hideout. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, headquarters.
And they're all just kind of like realizing that they just brought everyone back. They're just like, oh my God, like, okay, we did it, blah, blah, blah. Boom, they just get bombed on. Boom, boom, boom. They just rain bombs on their ass.
Yeah.
And then Thanos is there. He's
with all of like the Jakari and those flying worm things and the Black Order.
And Captain America's standing there about to go to war by himself.
No,
Captain
Thor.
America. It was Captain America.
No.
His it looked like he was about to just...
Well, what happened was they were kind of coming out of the rubble.
Yes.
They were coming out of the rubble, and Captain America and Iron Man were walking. Thor was already standing there just staring at Thanos. Thanos was just sitting down.
Yeah, he was oh yeah, they were right. They were kind of on that little lookout. They were on like a lookout staring at him.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then they all three start approaching him. He's just like, well, so what he's saying is, so apparently my job, I finally do it. I snap my fingers, I wipe out half the life, but you guys don't let it go. You guys haven't progressed. The point is that everyone progresses through life because now there's less people, less consumption, and you guys can progress. But
he's saying you can't let it go.
You guys can't let it go. So you guys haven't progressed at all. So I gotta kill everybody.
Yeah, he's like, the only way I can
save the planet or
can move on is to wipe out memory.
Right, by killing everybody.
Who's holding all the memory? All you living sons of bees.
Yeah.
So that's when the three of them start beating his ass.
Uh-huh.
And that's when Captain America picks up the hammer. And
Thor... Because we forgot about Rocket and Thor...
Oh yeah, duh. Rocket and Thor go back to get
the ether...
Is that what it is? Yes, the ether from Jane Foster.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how did we pass that? Sorry. Because Thor's talking to his mom, and his mom, it's funny because he's trying to pretend that he's the Thor from that time.
Yeah.
He's all fat.
Yeah, he's all fat.
And she knows that he's from the future, and she's like,
we time travel, we know.
Yeah. So then, it's just funny the way he was trying to like lie, and she's like reading it through him, and then, oh man, but that whole thing was good, and it was funny seeing Jane Foster again because you haven't seen her in a movie for a while.
Right. Yeah, and I mean it was short, but it was nice, and yeah, Thor is just hilarious.
Hilarious. I mean, every movie he's in,
he's so self-conscious though. He was like,
he was because look how big he's gotten. I mean, that's how I feel now too.
He doesn't want to see his ex. He kept talking about his ex. We used to be a thing.
They never even said why they stopped being a thing. He just stopped coming around.
No, I think they've mentioned it in passing. She just didn't like that he would be gone to Asgard for a long time, and she never knew when he'd come back. And she's like, I gotta move on with my life, something like that.
Okay.
But really, Natalie Portman didn't want to play the role anymore.
Yeah.
So while he's there, he's saying bye to his mom. He finally gets the courage again after talking to his mom. He extends his hand out, and Mjolnir comes back to him, and he brings him back to.
It was funny because when he's standing there, and Rock's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
his mom's like, "Sometimes it takes a minute." And then boom, he gets it. He's like, "Yeah!" So he comes back. Now he's got the hammer and Stormbreaker.
Yes,
and that's a badass combo because they're both the same weapon essentially. And then when they're having that fight showdown with Thanos,
he drops it because I think he threw it or Thanos knocked it out of his hand.
He did something where Thanos got him good with a punch and knocked him out, and then Captain America was the last one standing, grabs the hammer and hits him with it. Or no, you see the hammer start moving. You think Thor's calling his hammer and he's gonna get up and kick some ass. So when the hammer flies, boom, Captain America's holding it, and Thor's like, "I knew it!"
And he starts swinging it on Thanos.
Oh no, like he knew, like it was a natural thing for him. Like he knew how to kick ass with it.
Yeah,
but it was swinging. It was a really cool thing to witness. That was badass. So that whole fight scene then looks like he pretty much beat the shit out of all of them. Thanos did. And Captain America gets up, his shield's all broken because Thanos was like beating him.
Yeah.
And then his shield's like
I love when Thor called and he got both Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. Yeah. And he passes Mjolnir over to Cap and says, "You take the little one."
Because Cap's standing there and then that's when Thanos unleashes his whole army coming out, and it was a Jon Snow moment for Cap, because it was like the Battle of the Bastards when it's just Jon Snow about to take on Ramsay Bolton's whole army, and then everyone from behind just ends up storming by.
Well, when he hears, he goes, "Hey, Cap," and he uses Falcon's voice.
No, he goes, "Hey, on your left, Cap, on your left."
Yeah, I think it was on your left.
And that was a callback to the first appearance, of Falcon.
Yeah, so they would be jogging, and Cap would go lap
on your left every time. Keep lapping them on your left, on your left.
Yeah.
So I recognized that.
I recognized it,
and then it took a minute for that to register.
Yeah, but I was seeing these big portals open from Doctor Strange and those. I don't know what you call them, monks. I don't know
because everybody came back now. Everyone's snapped back, and to them it was just a matter of turning into dust and then waking up again.
Yeah.
But 5 years had gone by. So Doctor Strange is opening all these portals everywhere. So you have all of Wakanda coming in.
Yeah, Wakanda's there. You got
Black Panther. The Guardians of the Galaxy all coming in.
Guardians come back.
So everybody's coming back ready for war. And they're taking these guys on. And that was a badass battle.
And Spider-Man made a good point. Because Spider-Man comes back and just says, "Hey, remember when I was getting dusted? Well, I must have just fainted because I woke up and you were gone." And Doctor Strange says, "Hey, we got to go through this portal."
Yeah, so it's cool that they kind of explained a little bit.
Yeah, so they just think...
I like how Spider-Man talks, how he's all so like, ADD style, like hurry,
Yeah,
just
he
spit it
is.
out all fast.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, bye. And then takes off.
We're fighting? Okay, here we go.
And then that cool suit that he has, the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
So the legs all come out and just starts
He says kill mode.
Kill mode, and then just starts stabbing everything.
Yeah, that was cool. They get the
gauntlet. They're all trying to passing off the gauntlet to each other, trying to get it back, in their control.
Well, because Thanos got all the stones again.
Yeah, Thanos got the Iron Man's gauntlet.
Yeah.
And so he's about to do that again, and so yeah, there was a scramble to get that shit out of
He
his
almost
hands.
snapped his finger again. They got a hold of him and said, no. And he was getting attacked, and they got it off of him. Spider-Man has it. He's trying to get away. Valkyrie's helping him. All these people. You see, what's his name? Chris Pratt.
It's kind of Star-Lord.
Star-Lord. He sees Gamora and he's like, oh, Gamora. But she has no idea who he is. Because she's from the past where she hasn't met the Guardians.
I mean, the good Nebula explained to her what has happened in those 5 years.
Yeah.
Up until that point. Or actually more than that. So she would have been like almost 10 years in the past. Because that was 2014, and this is more like 2002, 2003. So it's more like 8 to 10 years, that had gone by. So she's so lost on who these people are.
Right.
And and all that time had gone by. So anyways, even though Nebula had told her who they are, they're still strangers.
Yeah, still strangers to her, yeah.
So she's like, see, Star-Lord, this is the one? But yeah, so after the war and everything's over, she bounces.
Yeah, she takes off. So what happens here is
Iron Man gets it back. Iron Man gets the gauntlet back.
So what happened, so he has it. Oh, I can't remember now. Does Thanos get it again? Because they took it off. Did he get it again? I think he got it again. So they had like a moment of a woman power, which was pretty cool.
When all the girls were standing there.
I thought that was kind of cool, because who was going after him? Who was going after him? And you're going to do it alone. And then all the women said, no, I'm there. Pepper Potts shows up in an Iron Man type of costume.
Yeah, and she has the other floating devices that shoot out lasers.
Right. And so that was cool. Valkyrie and Michonne.
But this was also Pepper Potts' last time she's going to be in it too. This was her last. She said this was the last time she's going to play her character.
Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. So they go anyway. They get it. Tony at one point says to Doctor Strange, "You told me you saw 14 million versions of how this plays out. Please tell me this is the one."
And he gives him that.
Well, Doctor Strange says, "I can't tell you. I can't."
Oh no. He wanted to know what happens. What happens? And he goes, "I can't tell you because if I tell you, it won't happen."
Right. So there's a point where Iron Man and Thanos are going to go at it again. He looks over at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange gives him the number one, gives him the one finger, meaning
this is your one chance.
This is the one version, because he knows what Iron Man's thinking. What Iron Man does is he grabs a hold of the gauntlet,
steals all the stones.
He doesn't know that.
Thanos doesn't know.
Thanos goes to snap, nothing happens because he doesn't have the stones.
He looks at the gauntlet, all the stones are gone. Iron Man's putting them all into his hand. He goes, I can't remember what was said to him, but he goes, "I am Iron Man." Just like the first movie, snaps his finger, boom, all of Thanos and his whole crew disintegrates, and Tony's left with the whole burned side of his body,
right? And
you just know it's not good. It's not looking good.
He's fricasseed on that. Right side
man, was that a tearjerker?
Yeah. So everyone's kind of coming over. Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's freaking out. He's like, Tony.
Right.
And then Gwen's like, "Out of my way, kid. This is my husband."
I think Rhodey came up to him too.
Yeah.
Because they were really close. Maybe Cap. I can't remember. But yeah, when Pepper comes up to him and says, "Now you can rest."
Oh yeah.
Now you can rest. Because he's, it goes back to what he was saying when he found out about the time travel.
Yeah. Damn.
He's like, "Should I ignore it?" She's like, "You won't be able to rest."
Yeah.
But he's always worried about everything. He's always worried about saving the world. He's always worried about the Avengers and the citizens. And now she's like, "Now you can rest."
Yeah, that was a tearjerker. And then it goes from that to
the funeral.
And then
another callback. They use that.
Well, no. I don't think the funeral was yet. Did they do the part where Captain America hands it off to Falcon? Because Captain America went back to put all the stones back.
So the Supreme Sorceress said you need to return all the stones back. Or else dire consequences will happen.
Yeah, without them being in place, things will branch off in all sorts of different directions and chaos.
It won't be good.
So Captain America goes back, puts all the stones back, but instead of coming back, he goes back to where they took the stone at the camp where he saw Agent Carter.
So, because they said, again, Hulk is doing this, and Hulk says, he'll be gone like 5 seconds. Like 5 seconds, he'll leave, he'll be gone for, for him it'll seem like weeks or months, and for us it'll be like 5 seconds. But Captain doesn't come back.
No,
so go ahead.
They're like, he should be back. What happened? He goes, he took a wrong turn.
Yeah, he took a detour.
And all of a sudden they look up. Bucky's like, hits him like, hey, what's that? Goes over there. There's old Captain America.
Old man.
He decided to live his life and have that dance with Agent Carter.
Yeah, he's got a wedding ring on now.
He told her in that movie, right before he crash landed and froze for 70 years. Because he even says it in this movie. So I found the love of my life and I went to sleep for 70 years. So when he goes back, he tells her on the phone right before they crash land, we're going to have to take a rain check on that dance. So when it shows him staying with her, they're having that dance.
Yeah, they're in the living room dancing.
And so that kind of closes his chapter.
Yeah.
So now he can die.
An old man. He's an old man, yeah. And Falcon asks him, he sees the wedding ring. He goes, you want to tell me about that special lady?
You want to tell me about her? He's all, no, not really. No. And then he's all, oh, I've almost forgotten. He has this beat up old leather bag. And that's his shield. And he gives it to Falcon to carry on, his Captain America legacy. Which I was surprised they gave it to Falcon and not Bucky, because I know they both carry the shield at one time. They're both Captain America at different times.
Yes.
I would have thought they would have given it to Bucky first because he's still a super soldier. He still has the juice in him.
But I guess he's still conflicted, right? He's still going through like therapy in Wakanda or something. I don't know.
He's still a little brainwashed,
maybe.
But I wonder if they're going to give Falcon the juice. They're going to juice Falcon up. Because he's still just a regular dude with wings.
I don't think they need to.
They do. He can't be punching everybody. Can't do hand-on-hand combat because all he's doing is flying and dropping bombs.
Well, he's still a soldier. He was still trained.
I know, but when it comes to hand-on-hand combat with some of these super aliens, look at Captain America. He's doing hand-on-hand combat with them.
I just don't see them purposely injecting somebody.
They should.
I just don't see it happening.
I think they should. But
do you see that happening though?
I don't see it happening, but I think they should do it. Just to appease me. Just to make me happy. But one thing that kind of I've been fighting with is the fact that they can't bring Natasha back. Black Widow.
Or can they?
That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to because she has her own movie coming out. And there's all these speculations, okay, is this going to be a prequel? But why the hell are you going to want to know a prequel if she's dead anyways? So I think they're going to bring her back. Because I'm like, hey, obviously he's putting the stone back, Captain America is, so Natasha doesn't actually end up jumping off yet. So he can tell her, hey, why don't you just turn her on around, get back to where you came from, you don't have to die. No one has to die. It's already done.
Professor Hulk is in love with her, so he's really playing around with this time machine thing. He might do something to go back to.
So I'm thinking they are going to bring her back, but it just sucks that they're saying how they've tried everything, they can't figure it out. I figured it out before I even got home. They've been sitting here trying to figure it out for weeks, apparently.
Well, they can't just give all the answers. They gotta, they play storylines.
But it's pissing me off because I know how to do it. So that part bugged me and the reason why is because here's Gamora running around from a different time, and now Star-Lord's probably going to go chase after her and make her fall in love with him again. But yet she died the same way by Thanos throwing her off, but here she is. So I think the same thing should be able to happen with Natasha.
I don't think you should get too upset about it.
I'm super upset about it because I find shit in movies.
That's probably what her movie will be about.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to start off. But it's just the fact that they said it's impossible and they can't figure it out, and I've already figured it out before I even made it home from the theater, kind of bothered me. I'm not going to lie, it kind of bugged me. Oh, and then at the funeral, which also was a tearjerker.
Yeah, because
jerker, not jerky.
They got the arc reactor that Pepper made from that said prove that Tony.
Well, they were also showing a little video of him making, talking about how if I die, blah blah blah.
Final message.
But he's like, but let's not kid around. I'm not going to die. But he just makes it for his daughter and just kind of like a last living will, And they're watching it at the funeral, and they go outside, and there's everybody, everyone that's been part of his life in the hero field. So
yeah, and they were in groups. Like the Guardians were in one group, Drax and Star-Lord and Rocket were in one group. And
yeah, everyone's grouped up together and how they were.
And then the Avengers with Scarlet Witch and Cap, or the other Avengers, and it was just kind of in groups, which was kind of Spider-Man with Aunt May.
Yeah. So at the end of showing everybody, they kind of showed one last guy. And
like a young kid.
Who the hell is this guy?
That was me. I'm like, who the hell?
Yeah, because I'm like, hey, I know everybody here except this one guy, and he's obviously important enough to be here. But who the hell is he?
Yeah.
And then you got me hip to who he is. He's the boy from Iron Man 3 whose garage he crash landed into.
Yeah, he crash landed, and then he helped him build a suit.
Yeah.
Or repair his suit.
He helped him, and then when he left his garage, at the end of the movie, he left that kid with all this high-tech equipment.
You're right.
Because that kid was way into engineering and building. Left him all this stuff. Which makes me wonder if in all these years he kept in contact with this kid, took him under his wing, and has been teaching him all this stuff about his company. Because, this kid looks pretty dapper now. I mean, he's in a nice suit. He's, obviously important enough to be there. So it makes me wonder if Iron Man took him under his wing, groomed him, and, I already know they're going to come out. They've already talked about a young Avengers where they're going to have Hawkeye's daughter, Ant-Man's daughter, possibly...
Iron Man's daughter?
Yeah, Iron Man's daughter, but possibly this kid might be something in the future, because if he's been close to Tony this whole time, he's probably knows all of the equipment in and outs. He probably knows a lot about everything, so he might be the next Iron Man.
It'd be interesting.
I don't know, just a theory, but I could be right.
Yeah.
So anyways,
great movie.
5 stars out of 3.
Is there a point where if people want to go to the bathroom, they could?
I
would say if there was one, it would be that Tokyo scene.
The Tokyo scene where
Natasha goes to go get.
Yeah, but it's also all within the first parts of the movie.
I know.
So the best time to go pee is probably... There is no good time to go pee during this. There's so much going on.
That's why I didn't drink anything. I was like, I'm not drinking anything.
I knew what I was in store for. So it was a damn good movie.
Such a good movie. I'm curious what Phase 4 will bring. Apparently, this
Fantastic Four, X-Men are supposed to come in now.
Possibly.
Because with the Dark Phoenix, I heard that she's going to just kill everybody off because they're going to have to re-franchise it now that it's part of the MCU.
Oh, so okay. That does make sense.
This was their chance to do the Dark Phoenix and just kind of wipe the slate clean.
The
X-Men never happened.
So that'll be interesting.
So now they're going to bring in Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and all the X-Men. And the only one surviving that whole franchise from Fox is going to be Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of cool. But anyways, another big event that happened was the Game of Thrones Battle of Winterfell.
So this is episode 3 of 6 in the final season, season 8. And it was a huge scene, so that's why we figured we should maybe talk about this.
Yeah,
so
this is a long episode, guys.
This is finally we get one of those long episodes. This is an hour and a half versus the first 2, which were an hour. This will get an hour and a half. We end episode 2 with the White Walkers walking up towards Winterfell in sight. And they say, hey, they're here, get ready. Yeah. That's how episode 2 ends. Episode 3 starts off, here we go. White Walkers are here, get in position, time for attack.
Right.
And it starts off pretty on the get-go.
Well, Red Witch comes back. Melisandre. She comes back and lights all the Dothraki's weapons on fire.
Yeah.
And glimpse of hope for a sec.
Yeah, because the Lord of Light fire will kill the White Walkers.
Yep.
Other than Dragon Glass, Valyrian Steel, and fire in general.
So they go hauling ass towards the White Walkers.
And pitch black.
Yeah, the whole episode was so dark. It was hard to see shit.
And I saw that the directors purposely did it. They wanted it.
So I thought my TV was having a bad stream.
Me too.
Like, damn, this stream is bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably just a lot of people trying to watch it right now.
Yeah, I found out it was on purpose.
Yeah. So you see all the Dothraki's lights just dim out.
So you see Daenerys and Jon on top of a mountainside, And there were the two dragons, and they're looking down. They can see this orange light right from their flaming weapons heading towards some darkness, and all of a sudden it starts diminishing. Right, the fire starts diminishing. Everyone's watching
and
it.
The screams are getting quieter.
Yeah.
The Dothraki screams are getting quieter, and then here comes a horse coming back by itself.
Jorah and a couple other straggling.
Yeah,
Dothraki.
they come back and they're kind of bloody.
Yeah,
and they're scared looking.
Yeah,
and then Daenerys is like, she diverts from their plan because she's like, these are, Jon's like, stop, because but Jon's not, doesn't have the feelings for these people that she does. Those are her people, so she feels a type of way about it. So she's like, oh, F this, I need to go save them. So she goes and jumps on her dragon, which causes Jon to jump on his dragon, which diverts them completely from their plan because now they're above this cloud. The Night King had clouded over everything, brought in all this darkness, so now they can't see shit.
And the snowstorm.
Right.
It brings a snowstorm, which dragons doesn't sound like they do too well, and they can't see.
Yeah, you can't see all through all this fog and snow. And then the White Walkers start coming in.
They start rushing. Unsullied are now the front line.
And they were supposed to signal for them to fly in with the dragons and light this moat on fire. And they're not coming because they're above the clouds and they can't see anything.
They're in the snowstorm. They can't see.
So they can't see.
It seems like they don't even know where the castle is. They're like lost. They don't know how to exit out of here.
Yeah, it looks like they're lost. They don't know where they are for a minute. And then here comes the Night King's dragon. But Melisandre was able to get the moat put on fire. But these White Walkers just start, after a minute, they just start piling on top of the fire and creating bridges.
Well, what happens is they're standing in front of this fire, and then the Night King, he's riding his dragon. You see, because Bran wargs into the crow, flies. They're seeing the Night King. He does something. Sometimes he never talks. Actually,
no,
never
he just does
says a word. He does a motion, and that signals a couple of them to start piling up on top of the fire to make a bridge, basically.
Yeah.
Of these dead walkers. I don't know what they call them, one of these.
And man, so they just start storming the castle.
They start storming the castle, yeah.
And they're just building ladders out of themselves to climb up, and they're getting up there. They're finally breaching the castle. But
great scene with Arya in there.
You mean losing your V card?
That was episode 1.
that was like 2 hours before the battle.
Yeah, that's right. Was that episode 2?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Episode 2.
Her and Gendry finally.
Her and Gendry. She just gives it up, which was a really awkward scene to watch because I'm thinking she's like 14, 15.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell no, is she about to take her clothes off right now? And she does. I'm like, I can't. The hell, HBO?
Luckily, they didn't show anything.
Well, no, she's 22.
Yeah, she's 22. 22 now, yeah.
I'm thinking she's like 14. No. The hell? So anyways, yeah, completely legal.
Completely legal. But so she is, she's in the castle, and she's in trouble, and the Hound is kind of scared right now. It's the fire, right? All this fire.
Yeah.
He doesn't do well with fire.
And he's like, F this.
Beric is like, come on, Hound, we need you. Get over here. Clegane is like, Clegane, we need you. Get over here. Finally, he goes, maybe she needs you. And Arya's like running for her life, being chased. And he jumps into action because she has saved his life.
Yeah, he has feelings for her, like a not a father figure, but like
uncle figure, maybe
guardian figure.
Yeah.
So he has a protection feeling for her, like make sure she's safe.
So he goes after her, and she does this great scene. She's creeping around in the library.
Oh, that was intense.
Yeah, because all these
White Walkers in there.
Whites, what do they call them?
Whites.
All these whites, and she's trying to sneak around. She's kind of getting filled with them. She's like, oh man.
Well, yeah, because at first you think there's just the one in there.
Yeah.
And then there's one on every single aisle of this library. And she's just trying to find her way. And then finally she gets out of there and comes face to face with that one and just uppercuts her with that dragon glass in her mouth before she can make a scream. Oh, that was a crazy scene.
Yeah. Oh, she got her bow staff that Gentry made for her. Something. It was like a bow staff that could separate, and she could use that as a staff or use it as a blade.
And she's kicking ass with it.
That was really awesome.
That was so badass. And then, but yeah, she gets into trouble, and then because as she's kind of like killing them and running away, she gets hit a couple times pretty good. One of those hits kind of hit her against the wall. Luckily, didn't knock her out, but I mean, she wasn't the same after that. They did a really good job at showing what happens to somebody when they get hit. Like, they're not the same anymore.
Yeah,
they're not
days,
100%. Yeah. So it shows that. And she's like just trying to survive at that point now.
Right. She's
But
trying to
luckily,
run.
that's when the Hound and Barrick are right there, and they come in and save her.
Yeah.
And then I think she accidentally stabs Barrick.
No, she didn't.
I thought because she was in that fighting mode, after Barrick, she accidentally stabbed him. Because then he starts getting stabbed by a lot of different whites after that.
No, he got slashed on the leg, and that kind of slowed him down, limping.
But he got at least stuck 20 times.
Yeah, so he basically risked his life to let
there's no bringing him back.
Hound and her escape. Another scene is you see a giant run through.
The giant breaks through.
Oh, boy.
Lady Marmont. She's trying to be brave.
Yeah, well, she is. She's very brave, very tough.
She is brave. So he slaps her out of the way right away.
Yeah.
And then she's...
probably knocks a couple teeth out of her.
Oh, yeah. She looks beat up from that one hit. But she gets up knowing that, okay, this is it. Goes charging at him, this little kid. So he just grabs her and squeezes her and crushes her.
Yeah, like a can of soda.
And, looks like he's about to bite her head off. And then she just... dragon glass to the face. Boom, right in the eye.
Right in the eye. So kills that giant. So great job, Lady Marmont.
Yeah.
What are some other scenes? Oh, you finally see the Night King on his dragon.
Oh, and Jon Snow's dragon fights with it.
They start getting into a fight.
Rips that dragon's throat open.
No, a jaw.
Rips the jaw off?
Yeah.
Okay, rips his jaw off. Because you see the blue flame in its neck. I thought its neck was ripped too.
No, it was a piece of his jaw. Can you see it flying in the window?
Oh,
show a piece
shit.
of it flying in the window.
It's hard to see. It was really dark.
Yeah, it was really dark. Then finally, the other dragon, Drogon, comes in, and the two dragons attack the one. Beat it up pretty bad.
The Night
ends up
King
crashing.
drops.
Yeah, that dragon crashes. Night King rolls off. He's fine, of course, unscathed.
Jon Snow's dragon falls and tumbles, and then Jon Snow's kind of by himself. You don't see him anymore. But then Dany also lands her dragon, she tries to shoot fire at the Night King first. Right. This is where it's like maybe he is a Targaryen because the dragon fire doesn't phase him. And he's supposed to be ice. It doesn't even phase him.
I've heard that they've already established that he's not.
They haven't. It's still not established what house he comes from.
I read something else, so
I
don't
want
know
to
where.
see what happens in the spin-off series if they take the path of the Children of the Forest and the Night King. And that would be a cool story because I guess a lot of ladies are all swooning over the Night King, who he really is. His character.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I've seen the story about it and I didn't read it.
So Daenerys says, Dracarys, Drogon blast flame on the Night King. He's standing there unscathed.
He's laughing at them.
Yeah. So she's like, what the heck?
And then, why did she get off her dragon again?
Well, she goes... So, okay.
All the, after that happens...
Jon is chasing after him. Jon is chasing after the Night King. He turns around, raises his hands. All of the dead, the Unsullied, the Dothraki, just the northern folk, all those people that have died are now
whites.
Part of the...
So they all start resurrecting.
They start resurrecting.
Ready to fight for him.
So he's by himself, and that's when Dany comes down and tries to help him, lands the dragon to kind of do whatever, but the dragon gets overwhelmed.
Well, she's sitting there too long. I don't know what she's waiting for.
She was distracted.
She should have just taken off, which she doesn't. Even after all these whites start trying to come on, she just should have taken off. But instead, she's just watching. I'm going, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
She falls off the dragon. The dragon's trying to shake him off, so the dragon flies away because he's getting stabbed.
Yeah.
All these whites are just stabbing the dragon, so the dragon flies away. You don't know what's going on with Jon's dragon. And now Dany's standing there about to get mauled by all these whites. And then here comes Jorah, saving the day.
Jorah comes back.
Starts, slicing up these whites, helping her. So Dany's getting a piece of the action, stabbing some whites.
Yeah, as well. So there's Jorah. So there they are. The dragon is now kind of going through the evil dragon is going through the city, chasing after Jon. Jon's trying to get to Bran.
Yeah, because Bran, now the Night King is made its way to that courtyard
with all of his soldiers. Well, first they had a bunch of the whites, and they start attacking. And Theon is there. Theon Greyjoy. He's there with some of his guys, and they're shooting arrows. They're fighting the whites, and it gets to a point where he's just by him. Theon's by himself. He's
the last one there. There's no more arrows,
yeah.
And it's just him and Bran.
And now the soldiers the White Walker soldiers.
All the night OGs.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but they're the
up.
OGs for sure. They surround him and then leave a pathway for the Night King to come.
He comes through, and this is really cool because this is where Bran kind of tells Theon, "Hey, you've redeemed yourself.
You were a good man."
Yeah, because he was like, "Hey, I'm sorry what happened." He's like, "Hey, you had to do it. Whatever you've done has brought you to this point."
Yeah, whatever you did brought you to being here now, which is, I guess, a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
But without a dick.
so Theon feels
redemption or some kind of like I did good.
Yeah.
Like I fulfilled my life's prophecy, I guess. So he charges the Night King with the last weapon he has, which is a spear.
Did not go well.
No, the Night King was just like, "Bitch, please!" Grabs it, snaps it in half, and shoves it up his gut.
Yeah, that didn't work good.
I'm a king, bitch.
Yeah. So now it's cool. You see the Night King slowly walking up to Bran. Bran just looking at him. Like, obviously he's emotionless. He's not a human anymore. He's the three-eyed raven. So he has no emotion, no fear, no nothing.
I've heard at this part that there could have been a possibility where the Night King was like possibly going to Bran to like relinquish the sword to Bran or like do something, not killing Bran but including Bran. Not today.
No, because
not
you
today.
See one of the soldiers, one of the guys, you see this gust of wind fly by his face. He kind of glances over because like, what is that? What was that? What was that glance of wind? Well, it was some speed, is what that was. As you see Arya,
airborne,
jump up with what's it called? Cat claw dagger?
Is it the one that Littlefinger gave her?
It was the one that Littlefinger gave to Bran, which was the one that was used to almost kill him when he first got paralyzed in the bed.
Okay.
And so what happened was Littlefinger or Jaime or somebody sent someone to go kill him because he didn't want to say, "Hey, I saw Jaime and his sister banging up there." And they pushed me off. And it was so it's his dagger. Somehow Littlefinger has it, gives it. And so to Bran's like, "I don't need this." Gives it to Arya. So and it's made out of Valyrian steel.
Right.
She jumps up, gets caught.
Yeah, midair, catches her by her throat in her hand.
Yes.
And
so the Night King is holding her throat with one hand, holding her hand with a dagger with the other hand. She plays some trickery moves.
Well, the tricks she learned along her path.
Yes, because she's done this against Brienne during some training.
And it was a really famous move that she learned, the drop and catch.
Yeah.
And stab. Drop, catch, and stab.
Oh my gosh. He was not expecting that.
No, I wasn't either.
Me neither.
I was not expecting that. I forgot all about that move. And then as soon as she sticks them, boom, everybody dusts. All the whites dust.
Yeah.
And
because I thought they were going to do like maybe one of those main soldiers at a time. Because once you kill one of those main soldiers, it kills whoever they brought back.
But foreshadowing on season 3 when Arya meets Melisandre. And Melisandre tells her, "You have darkness in you." Tells her, "I see you
closing many eyes,
shutting many eyes forever. Blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes." And the brown eyes being, tons of buttholes that she closed. So the whole phrase, the family of the phrase were all brown eyes. And, Littlefinger, all them. Anyways, then the White Walkers had all blue eyes.
Yeah.
So just shut the blue eyes. And then the green eyes is the famous person with the emerald green eyes is Cersei. So it makes you wonder, is she going to take out Cersei? And is she going to do it in a way because the prophecy saying that she's killed by her brother or her little brother, which they say Arya could be her little brother because there's a season where the Lannister father took her under his wing when she was pretending to be a boy.
Oh.
And he was teaching her a lot about his lifestyle of the way he wins things and how he does things.
I think that's a stretch, myself.
It is a stretch, but it's like the way he took her under his wing could kind of symbolize a son, a son figure for him, which would make her a little brother, so kind of symbolizing that together. Or she could be wearing the mask of Jaime or Tyrion if one of them get killed.
Okay, that seems a little bit more...
Because one of them might be killed, or the best thing would be Jaime Lannister just killing Cersei.
That'd be interesting.
And how about Jaime Lannister surviving that whole time with one hand?
Because he's a war.
And Lady Brienne being knighted. I thought Lady Brienne was going to die because that closed her chapter. That was the end of her thing. That's what her main goal in life was, being a knight. But not being able to because she's a woman.
Right.
And then Jaime Lannister going, a knight can knight another person, and I'm F the way things used to be. This is now, and could be our last night. So you're a knight now.
Yeah.
That was a tearjerker.
Yes, it was. That was a good moment. Her knighthood.
Her getting knighted and Arya getting bedded.
So once all the White Walkers are now gone, since they killed the Night King, you see who did end up dying. Jorah did end up dying, protecting his Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Lady Mormont, we talked about. Also, the person at the wall, the head guy at the wall. Can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name.
Dolores or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was there in the beginning with Sam and Jon when they were all like brothers. And when Jon left, he left him in charge. So you end up seeing him gone.
Right.
I'm trying to think who else was like the main characters you saw. Maybe that was it. Oh, we forgot a whole moment in the crypt.
Oh, yeah, the whole crypt.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying, why hide in the crypt if the White Walker, the Night King, can raise the dead? And he did. When he raised all those people against Jon, he also raised the crypt.
Well, you wouldn't think they would have busted out of those crypts so easily.
Yeah,
like, what are those made
bones,
out of mud?
Yeah,
I mean, that's supposed to be stone. They're sitting here just punching out of the stone, crawling out.
I was like, wait,
I
what?
understand that they did it for the movie.
Yes.
And for the thrill and the suspense.
Yes,
and to kill a few people.
Yeah.
But seriously, come on, that's supposed to be like stone that they're in and they're just punching up bones, punching through stone.
One thing I was worried about, I was like, are they going to show like Lyanna or Ned or somebody?
I was thinking that too. I'm like, oh my, I said it out loud. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to show zombie Ned.
Yeah, or their mom or something like that. Luckily they didn't.
Yeah.
They're just people from their past, ancestors.
Yeah, so you don't really see who was out there crawling around. But man, was that intense moment.
Yeah, because they're just stuck down there in the crypt. They're locked in.
But
there.
now here they are. There's not many of them left, huh?
Yeah. Now they're
going to fight for the
throne.
For the throne, but they still have their two dragons because they still have the dire wolf. They showed Ghost. They showed Ghost in the beginning.
He was running with the Dothraki and Jorah,
and you don't see him again.
I don't remember seeing him come back.
You don't. But in the previews for next week's episode, you see both dragons and Snow.
Okay, cool.
So all the animals are still there.
Ghost, you mean?
Ghost,
yeah.
Snow Ghost.
Cool. Yeah. So both dragons are back. They were just injured, but they're fine. It seems like they healed quick. Maybe, I don't know. Can't get that impression.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
But they're really big.
They just cauterize it.
Yeah, I mean,
cauterize their boobs.
I guess like these people jumping on stabbing was like maybe like getting just poked with needles. Like, ow, stop that freaking hurts. So
like, knock it off, stupid. But man,
so yeah, we just thought we'd talk about it because it was like mid-season finale and it was a great big fight scene.
It was funny. A lot of people like, man, they wanted to see Jon Snow take out the Night King. But Jon Snow was like
That's
trapped.
What I was thinking.
He couldn't get to Bran.
Yeah.
And because that dragon's going to get him.
Right.
And so he's like kind of trapped trying to make things happen.
Right.
And so and then Bran just warped the whole time. It makes you wonder where he was warped. What was he looking at this whole time? Because he's been, he's not even there. He's warped out while everyone's shooting arrows, killing all these whites.
Yeah, he's not even present.
So wondering where he's been this whole time, what he's been doing, because they were kind of thinking maybe him and this Night King are doing some agreement while he's warped out, and you don't know.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden Arya stabs him before anything happens. So maybe Arya saved the day, or maybe she doomed them all.
Nah, I think his intentions were very clear. He's gonna kill Bran because he wants to wipe out.
I know, it's just theories that I was reading.
Yeah, you're stretching on some of these theories. I think. I think you're looking at any theory at this point. You can exclude some.
Yeah, for real. I think it was just badass moment right there.
Yes, it was awesome. Great episode. Maybe we'll talk again at the end of the episode.
We'll just maybe wait at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think
let's just let the rest of the season
again.
right out, and we'll wait till then. But damn, was that a lot of shit going on this weekend. So much excitement. Yeah. Emotional roller coasters. Damn, was it a good weekend.
Yeah, and then you got another great weekend coming up. So.
Yeah, going to Waverly Hills. I'm leaving tomorrow a day early, so just in case, because it's still a standby flight, and I don't want to miss out because now I had to buy a damn ticket to investigate. So I don't want to be out $80.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed our breakdowns and our Easter egg findings of Endgame.
And our longest Buko Boys episode ever.
Yeah, this is just a bonus for our listeners who are nerdy like us.
So, all right, guys. We appreciate you sticking through a whole 2 hours with us. We love you. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.